those strengths that ASD students have are, something that, another thing in our society that we need to take more advantage of because of their tools that they have that, sometimes they may be seen as something that, something they perseverate on as they're going through school because it's something that they have a deep interest in. But if we can channel that student into what that deep interest is in and focus their education on that, that would make them a wonderful asset to our society.
Well, the latest statistics I just read were that 1 in 54 boys and 1 in 252 girls are diagnosed with autism. So it is a relatively high incidence, and the unique way that these people think about the world and their gifts in the visual skills, math, music, and art can really greatly contribute to society. So we as a society need to learn how to make the work environment more autism friendly so that we certainly would not want to miss out on what they can contribute because the social skills may hinder their ability to be employed or stay in employment.
If we see students who are struggling because maybe they haven't been diagnosed, ask questions and make sure that they're getting all the services that there are available to them. Each community in the state of Minnesota is developing lots and lots of resources which are wonderful that weren't there 10 years ago.
I guarantee you have sat in classrooms and will sit in classrooms and work with people in your future who are somewhere on the spectrum, and just recognizing that we don't all come into this world equipped with the same social competencies, and we don't all have the same parents to teach us other social competencies that are not just taken for granted, that we need to be tender-hearted and open relationships with those people. So often we are dismissive of people that just don't walk the right social walk or talk the right social talk, and I just think that's so sad for us as a society that we're just not more open to it, but incredibly so isolating for that individual.
If we don't help them and don't give them the services that they need when they're young, catch them young, that creates a burden financially to society because it can be anywhere from $3 to $5 million in a lifetime to take care of those that we haven't helped. The suicide rate for our guys on the spectrum is much higher. I don't have the number, but it's higher than the national average. So without our supports, we see a lot of our guys end their own lives.
I think it's certainly always maybe easiest to go through your family physician and talk to them about your concerns, or your pediatrician. But the public health system in all communities are usually also very good at screening children for those developmental milestones. And every school district in every community has a special education cooperative where the families can contact the school district to see how they would get a hold of an intervention team to do a screening at first and then possibly some future testing. For me, the most profound impact about early intervention is how much it helps the families. It sets them up with the resources in the communities that they may not have known existed. And when the families start learning some skills to cope with things such as my child cannot speak or communicate, and they may be having behavior problems or dietary issues or sleep issues, hooking them up with resources that can help them cope and manage those things, to me, is the most important impact. But certainly it can also impact that beautifully developing brain in those little early ages of birth through 3, where we know that the children can learn so much at that time, and to be able to get in there and help facilitate that is very impactful.
Hi, I'm Philip Ye. I'm 21 years old and I live in Nisswa, Minnesota. Well, I learned that I had autism when I was in 8th grade back in middle school. And I thought I was just a regular kid, but really I'm a lot different than anybody else. Well, autism really, well, for me, autism for me, I have a hard time of understanding inside jokes, eye contact, understanding body language, and facial expression. Well, you just got to get to know them more, give it time, and accept them who they are, and just treat them like a friend like they treat their other friends. Well, I have really good eyesight. I can drive a car, boat, mow the lawn with a lawn tractor, use a leaf blower, ice auger, and even and finally I have a job at Menards that I work part-time from 5 in the morning until 9 in the morning, which is an early morning shift of the stocking program of stocking items on the shelf so your customers can buy them. I'm kind, honest, and trustworthy, and I try to make sure everything is good and nothing's wrong. I like to hunt and fish a lot and hang out with friends and socialize and have fun.
1 in 88 children has autism, making it more common than juvenile diabetes, childhood cancer, and pediatric AIDS combined. Nearly 1.5 million Americans have some form of autism, with 4 out of 5 of them being male. Currently, there's no known cause of autism. However, there are probably complex genetic factors, in addition to unknown environmental factors at work. Autism's annual U.S. economic impact is $35 billion, matching the economic impact of AIDS. Understanding autism is a first step to making a difference in the lives of those impacted by it. But what else can you do? As I mentioned earlier, federal autism research and education is underfunded. Our federal government reserves less than 1% of its national research budget for autism. On the other hand, nearly 10% of the federal research budget goes to AIDS research. Our elected legislators are responsible for representing the needs of their constituents. As responsible citizens, we need to inform our elected officials of the lack of funding for autism research and education. The Caucus for Autism Research and Education is a national bipartisan caucus that supports legislation regarding autism. Our federal representatives need to be convinced to join this important caucus. Please check my website, RebeccaYay.com, for specific information on how to easily contact and advocate to your congressmen and legislators.
We did